All right, so we're going to begin this hour with our new series.
We're going to begin this hour with me. Isn't that what you wanted to say?
I didn't want to say that, Gayle, but I know I'm just here in this playground it's temporary. We're beginning with our new series, Never Too Late. That is where Gayle, Tony, Nate, and I try to show that it's never too late to learn something new. So I have always been fascinated by the history of the samurai sword and how Japanese swordsmanship has evolved into a martial art today. So in order to tread in the path of a samurai, one must first understand the concept of bushido, the path or way of the warrior, by mastering several disciplines like tameshigiri and kendo. I decided to spend some time learning about the sword and visited a dojo to understand what it takes to truly master the sword. It isn't easy, but the Japanese have a saying: fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Ooh.
For decades, the samurai warrior wielding his longsword, called the katana, has been mythologized in countless films, both in Japan and in Hollywood. It has a sharp and rich history, one that I always wanted to explore.
Nice.
But before I could take the first step in mastering the art,
there you go.
I had to learn all about it.
The craftsmanship, like this one is beautiful. I mean, look at that.
So I took a trip to New York City's Metropolitan Museum of Art to check out the Samurai Splendor exhibition with art curator Marcus Sesko.
Give us a sense of the life of a typical samurai in Japan in the 17th and 18th century.
The Tokugawa, the rulers of the country, they introduced like a class system. No one but the samurai were allowed to wear swords. He saw the sword as a symbol of his rule and of his role in the society.
But that symbol fell out of favor in 1850, when the United States forced Japan to open itself up to trade with the West, and the country began to industrialize. The only reason a warrior is alive to fight, and the only reason a warrior fights, is to win. Otherwise, why be a warrior?
It was thought of the battlefield readiness had to be kept alive, and it has to be passed on to successive generations.
Like Sensei Noboru Kataoka, a master of the way of the sword of more than 30 years, who's appeared in films like Clint Eastwood's Letters from Iwo Jima and Black Rain starring Michael Douglas. Sensei Kataoka's martial art is called kendo.
You have to have a technique, a certain way to move, very delicate techniques. Like a piano, if you don't have any techniques, it makes music, makes sound, but it's not beautiful.
You can only fight the way you practice. Kendo is now practiced more as a sport than a martial art on the battlefield. You target specific places on the body to score points. But the real goal is to achieve a level of skill where the techniques come as second nature.
How hard is it to get to that level of it becoming just like breathing?
You have to do the same thing over and over, like a meditation. And then eventually you'll get it.
1,000 days of lessons for discipline, 10,000 days of lessons for mastery. It was time to armor up.
Oh, look good, look good.
And turn those words into action.
You go back and up, and here comes the door. Very good. Much better. Fear. Got it! Got it! Doubt. Got it! Go! Okay, that's very good. And confusion, those things comes in. Then you lose. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And you lose focus, you lost.
Beyond kendo, which historically sharpened the samurai's skill against an opponent with bamboo swords, there's tameshigiri, the art of cutting with a live blade. Sensei Sang Kim teaches classes in New York City. I'm very excited to learn. What do you have in mind for me?
So today we're going to just teach you some of the basics about the cutting. And then, hey, we might actually give it a try and let you try test cutting.
All right.
Just letting you know, I'm gonna let you cut with my sword. My swords are kind of expensive. If you break, you buy. Give you a heads up on that.
Make sure our executive producer has her checkbook ready.
It was my turn to give it a go.
First things first, you're going to step forward with your right foot and put your left hand on your sword.
First, by learning the proper form.
Pop.
Pop.
Then,
And then
perfect. Good. Pull your left hand back as you push your right hand forward. Good. And bring it up. Now have your left hand meet. Perfect. All right, so this time from there, very nice. We're gonna do our first cut. We wanna go straight down, and the biggest thing is relax. Don't overswing. Okay, let's give it a try. And go. Nice. You hear that sound?
I do.
Hasuji.
Hasuji.
Hasuji. So if you hear hasuji, that means your blade alignment is correct.
Finally, time to put practice to the test.
Deep breath and relax. Ready, and cut. Oh, okay, one more time. Don't bend forward, okay? Ready, and cut. Oh, okay, one more time. All right, take your time. Deep breath, cut. Okay.
It is said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And it's never too late to start.
It's visually beautiful. Tony Dokoupil, we've been waiting for
Tony.
you. Why don't you go first, Tony?
Oh, thank you, guys. I miss you. Hope to see you next week. Things are going well
Yes,
here.
hope so.
Vlad, I'm very impressed, but I have a key question for you. I know you want to keep doing the samurai thing. I see some swords on eBay. I could send you one, but are you really confident that Marion's going to let you have a samurai sword in the house with a toddler?
Good question.
Tony, look what Gayle is holding in
And
her
the
hand.
answer is no.
The answer is we've got a lot of swords in the house.
Yeah, so these
already.
are actually your swords.
These are my swords, the ones that we have here on set. Gayle is holding what is called a wakizashi. It's a short sword.
Okay.
And you are holding the shinai, which is the bamboo sword that we use to do kendo.
But Tony, what did we think of Vlad's technique? Number one, it's visually beautiful.
Thank you.
Number one.
Let me shout out. First, let me
Yeah.
give a shout out to Alyssa Candiotti and Vito Weisblum, who produced, Craig Shea, who was the editor, and Iana Velez, who did those beautiful graphics. I mean, I went back to her so many times for those graphics, and they nailed it. Yes,
Careful,
thank you
Gayle.
very much.
Careful, Gayle.
I know.
Careful there.
It makes me a little nervous, to be honest with you, just holding
I've
it.
seen you cut potatoes.
I'm not putting it right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're putting it backwards.
Let's see. Here. Like that.
This is how Gayle is putting this back in.
But you learned
Vlad, you'll have to
something.
teach your daughter.
I learned something about, and you heard what Sensei Kataoka said about fear and doubt and anger creeping into your mind, confusion. The Japanese and the Chinese, too, have a word for it. It's called mushin. Mushin in Chinese. Mushin means no mind. So if you can experience no mind while you're practicing anything in life, not just this, anything that you do in life, if you have no mind about it, that will lead you on the path
I'm repeating that to my kids later.
I like lose focus, you lose.
You lose focus,
I'm
you
gonna
lose.
keep that. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
This was a fun series. Tony, thank you. We look forward to seeing
Can't
you
wait to
back
have you
next
back,
week.
Tony, next
Yes,
week.
yes, yes.
See you guys next week.
All right.